The Big Mouth Comedy Festival in Portsmouth brought together the best in big-name acts, as well as rib-tickling local talent for a weekend full of laughs at the Guildhall.
About 4 or 5 years ago we did Southsea Comedy Festival in the Big Top on the Common there, and they've been trying ever since to put together a massive festival like this, and it's really, about 40, 50 comedians over 2 days, all in the Guildhall across 3 rooms. So it's just incredible, really, especially for a comic like me, just to be involved in.
I'd definitely do my tax return on time if I got a badge. Why can't we get badges for adult things? Not adult things.
Imagine making a typo as an ancient Egyptian. These days things are so disposable, aren't they? You can send a sort of 140-character tweet in a minute. If you don't like it, you delete it. In Egyptian times, you had to stick with what you'd done, hadn't you? You'd be chiselling away on a bit of rock for years, wouldn't you? You'd be chiselling. You could be in life's work there in the desert, in the sand, in your little sandals, in your little loincloth, 40-degree heat on the back of your neck, chiselling away, chiselling away, chiselling away. Your life's work, you finish it after years, you're blistered, you're all gnarled from the sun, you show it to a mate and go, what do you think? What do you reckon? It's taken me 42 years, that. What do you reckon? They go, what have you called Pharaoh a twat? What? He said, Pharaoh is a twat. I go, no, Pharaoh is our king. No, mate, you've put a scarab there. That should be an eagle-faced man. It's a typo, mate. You've done a typo.
When they asked me to be involved in this and book acts, they said we want to get some amateur acts, they want to get some local talent. And obviously I run South Coast Comedian of the Year, so I knew instantly who I wanted to get, who were local comics, new and up-and-coming stars, to get them involved. And it's been a real pleasure to see all these new acts coming through and get them involved in the festival alongside people like Russell Kane, Alistair McGowan, It's just brilliant. It's nice to have something different. That's what we've got here at the festival, is real variety, impressionists, sitcom stars, the current big names from like the Apollo, and old school people like Barry Cryer as well, and the new acts. So something for everybody, I think. They all come with something different, but the local acts, I do like Jake Young, like we spoke about, and Nathan Eagle.
Because growing up, young boys are always trying to be just like their dad. So when I turned 7, I ran away from home.
It's wine glasses, isn't it?
But all of them are just so fresh, and it's lovely to see them working on what works and building their own sort of persona and character. It's great to see them all coming through.
As well as stand-up comedy, the festival also held 2 special question and answer sessions, with the rare opportunity to see the 2 Hollies from Red Dwarf and one man famous for his cunning plans.
I try to do as many stand-up gigs as I do comic cons without picking the phone up. I'm very lazy like that. But I just want to keep my stand-up. I like doing stand-up, and the comic cons seem to be going on and on. I mean, there's everybody and their dog seem to be running them these days. Their looks have drifted away, gone on holiday. And it's about charisma, isn't it?
Portsmouth would seem to be a good one. It was all in one building, and the idea people bought one ticket and then just was there for the day.
We had a laugh, didn't we? Really? We just that's how I like to do it.
Improvised things. Yeah. We just make it up as we go along. I brought my own spin and own hair to the character. I had the blonde bob and the bright red lipstick. They didn't kind of invent that look in a sense. So,
I think you've got to be bald for that character.
Yeah, I think you have.
So
now.
I think you should have shaved your head, really.
Yeah, because that's the future.
Yeah, you should have done that. Really. Well, let's not drop dead, then you can do what you like.
No, I don't want you to do that.
Well, I will do. We're all going to die.
Go on, do the line.
Yeah, we're all going to die. If you want to think positively about death, right, you think like this.
Oh, I meant the dead Dave.
Donald Trump. Katie Hopkins, Farage, they're going to die. Yeah? So that makes you feel a bit more positive about death, doesn't it?
Just a little
It's going to shut them all up. Great. No, everybody's dead, Dave.
I've been doing a batch of gigs one after the other, and Portsmouth was it had to be done, didn't it? It just had to be done. It's a lovely town. I can't remember if I've ever played here live before. I've certainly come down and shot a lot of documentaries down here. Well, it's one of the most historic cities in England, isn't it? So you would.
So one question in particular was about Maid Marian. We got a fantastic story about how it's basically based off of your own daughter.
Yes, Maid Marian was based on Maid Marian and Her Merry Men, I should say, for those people who don't know, was based on my daughter, who was a very spiky 10-year-old tiny. With cropped hair and always wore trousers, and she was the worst footballer in the school, but by sheer force of personality had made herself the striker in the primary school football team. And I remember it was like she used to run along with the ball, and all the rest of the team were swirling round her like a storm of bees, and she would just be shouting and yelling at them and berating at them for not being good enough. And I thought at the time, if she'd been around in Robin Hood's gang, it wouldn't have been Robin who would have been running it. And that was it. Just that observation gave me a 6-part television series.
Going from a character like Baldric, who obviously was the downtrodden servant, to being a very menacing character like the Sheriff of Nottingham, kind of gave you a chance to kind of flex your muscles as an actor as well.
That's right. I'd played Baldric for a long time, and he was all sweet and slow and charming. So I wanted to play somebody who was much nastier and much faster and more articulate. And also because I'd written the show myself, it meant I could dictate the speed of the show. If I wanted a particular scene to be slow, I could be very slow and menacing myself. But if I wanted it to be faster, that was how I did it. So has any of you seen Blackadder Back and Forth? Yeah. Oh, okay, do you remember there was a Roman scene in it set on Hadrian's Wall? Well, I was filming that in the late afternoon, and I then had to get into a car, drive through the night sleeping, and when I got to the other end, I did a time team on the real Hadrian's Wall. That was quite bizarre. I made time team for 20 years, 20 seasons. We did over 210 episodes. So it's something that I've always been intensely proud of, that somehow we made archaeology, a subject which most of us can't even spell, interesting and sexy, and pat ourselves on the back for that one. I've got a new series which is coming on the 23rd of March and will be running for 6 weeks. It's called Britain's Greatest Cathedrals, or England's Greatest Cathedrals. I don't think I really need explain it in any more depth to you, because that's what it is. No, I'm doing Salisbury, Winchester and Canterbury, so kind of circling around you a bit. And then I go up north and I've done York, Durham and Liverpool.
And thoughts have already turned to bringing the festival back again next year.
I think it's something that we're going to really build on. It's just a weekend this year, but hopefully build bigger and better for the city next year. It can only go up from here. This is the first roll of the dice and see how people respond to it. And we had 1,000 people in yesterday, and we're expecting nearly that in on a Mothering Sunday. So, it shows that people are prioritising comedy over their mums, which is the most important thing.
Richard Stringer, That's TV.